everyone, this is Misha, and welcome to a game called Do Not Take This Cat Home. But guess what we're going to do? We're probably going to take it home. You're not having a great day, as usual. Oh, great. It's raining. Of course it is. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out. But in the middle of your walk, it starts to rain. Typical, but maybe this is just a sign that you should have stayed home today. Yeah, you can always try again tomorrow. Right? You turn to head home when... Mr. Meowski? Huh? What was that? There are only a few people around on the street. Makes sense due to the increase of missing persons around the area recently. Well, that and the weather. But none of them react to the sound at all. Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a dark, dingy alleyway. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward. The ground dampened by the rain makes your steps sound louder and more confident than you actually feel. Mew. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the cold, dim light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a cat. Guess that should have been obvious. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its front paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. Ooh. So cute. And it definitely knows it. You've never had much of an opinion one way or another about cats before. But if they're all like this one, it's a shock they haven't already found a way to rule the world. You don't think you'd mind bowing down to a feline overlord. You look around the alley with a small frown. Who leaves cats in cardboard boxes these days anyway? Wouldn't they just jump out and leave the box eventually? Wouldn't you, Mr. Meowski? But he doesn't answer me. Obviously. It also doesn't do as you suggest and leave the box. It's just looking at you, as if waiting for you to make the next move. Why take the cat home? ... You know what? You reach into the box and pick the cat up, holding it out in front of you. Why not? No. You're all alone and, well, I'm kind of in the same boat myself, so you bring the cat close. You didn't realise it was shivering until just then. Oh, but it slowly breathes easier as it presses into your chest. Why not stick together, right? At least for a little while. Oh. You think a little while will probably be more like a day. You'll be responsible and take it to a shelter tomorrow. But for now, let's get you out of the rain, okay? You stop by a small local pet store for some cat food, then head back home. You live in a modest apartment. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 you living all alone in it. So it feels weird having another living being inside it after so long, even if it is just a cat. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you watch for a moment as it curiously explores the new environment. Leaving the feline to its own devices, you set about making the both of you some dinner. You take out the can of cat food and open it with the tab on top. You put some cat food on a saucer and click your tongue to call the cat over to you. It perks up at your beckoning and rushes over. It looks at the plate of food, looks at it, and completely ignores it. Not hungry, I guess. You try not to let it annoy you. The cat doesn't understand the concept of money to appreciate that you spent your hard-earned cash on it. It's just a cat, after all. I'll just leave it here if you get hungry later, okay? The cat rubs its body against your legs with a purr. You smile. That's enough of a thanks for you. It follows you into the kitchen as you start on your own dinner. You decide that you have enough ingredients for a sandwich. Bread toasted, mayo and mustard spread, turkey and cheese and lettuce perfectly placed. Ow! You wince as you cut your finger on the knife while slicing a tomato. Stupid. You feel a little embarrassed for such a blunder and sigh, tossing the knife onto the cutting board. You're about to head to the bathroom for a bandage when the cat hops up onto the counter. It sniffs at the knife and meows almost pointedly at you. Heh, don't worry, I'm alright. It was just an... You watch as the cat starts to... lick lightly, but enthusiastically, at the blood on the knife. At your blood. You're so shocked that by the time you come to your senses, the knife has been completely licked clean. The cat sits back, staring at you. You feel a little uneasy. Sure, cats are meat-eating predators, but that was a little weird. Right? Sure, you're no cat expert. That was definitely not something an ordinary cat would do. Right? Well, regardless, you're not about to abandon a cat in need while it's still raining outside. Not after all your efforts. You were going to take it to the shelter tomorrow anyway. What's one night of awkwardness? Weird or not. It's just a cat. The rest of the evening, unfortunately, goes downhill from there. Even after covering up your fingers cut with a bandage, the cat keeps trying to lick at the wound. While you're eating your sandwich, while you're cleaning up the kitchen, while trying to watch TV, you gently push it away every time, but you're starting to get worried at the strange behaviour. What if it's got a taste for blood and thinks you're food now? You're not sure what you'll do if it starts to get more aggressive. You keep thinking about the cat food sitting in the corner. Untouched. Meow, meow, meow. Jesus! Ugh! Come on, enough already. You shove it away a little more forcefully, this time out of annoyance. You feel bad immediately, but before you can do anything, the cat meows sharply at you and dashes off around the corner and into the hall. You sigh deeply. At this point, you're just worried that it's going to take a bite out of you in your sleep. Maybe a vet will have an idea on how to calm it down. You can only hope. You don't have many other options left other than tossing the cat out in the rain. After finding the number of a local vet, you pick up your landline. Oh no. Oh no, the lights just went out? Great. Just great. Rain must have knocked out the power. You check your cell phone. only to find out that it's out of batteries. You must have forgotten to charge it before leaving it out earlier. The outing had seemed so spur of the moment that it had no doubt messed with your usual routine. Grab a flashlight, turn it on. It's quiet. It's too quiet. Did the rain stop? But then, why did the power go out? You look outside. The sky is pitch black. What time is it? You turn to check the clock. The cat sits on top of your digital clock, staring at you. Thinking now, you realise the clock shouldn't be working at all with the power outage, but the numbers are lit up and going completely haywire. The cat stares at you. It's completely still. You'd think it was a statue if you didn't know any better. It's not giving off any indication that it's alive. It's not blinking. It's not even breathing. But its eyes. This isn't normal. You're afraid. You want to run, but you're afraid of letting the cat out of your sight. You consider tossing the cat out after all. But as soon as that thought enters your head, you feel a sharp urge to vomit. Those eyes, its eyes hold you still, even with your flashlight trained on it. Its pupils are large, round, inky pits. The flashlight flickers. And the cat is gone. Fear immediately grips your mind. The silence, punctuated with the rapid pumping of your blood in your heart, is overwritten as your ears slowly start to pick up the sound of static all around you. How is the clock working with no power? You don't know why such a question matters at the moment, but you feel as if having the answer will make sense out of everything that's happening. That order will be restored. But no answer comes to mind. You back away from the clock and feel as if the air itself calls tightly and abruptly in response, like a predator prepared to pounce, but waiting for your next move. But you're afraid to move. You're afraid to even take a breath. But you can't stay still forever, right? Whatever is watching you, you can already feel its impatience. It's too eager. You don't know how you know this, but you can sense it as clearly as if it had whispered right into your ear, right into your soul. It won't let you wait it out. Not that you could, even if it did. You can't stay here. You have to run. With this thought, a sudden primal instinct awakens within you, making you tear yourself into a hasty burst of movement, of action, but still weak from the fear's grip on your mind. Your legs tangle together under you in your haste and you fall to the ground. Ouch. A sharp pain explodes in the centre of your foot. At first, you think you've broken your ankle, but something warm and wet trickles down the length of your foot, pooling underneath it. You hear the sound of metal scraping on tiles after skidding across the floor, as if it had been kicked. Winded from your fall, you look up in a daze, see the object glinting in a strange light coming from outside. The light pouring in from your now open front door. Thoughts of how, when, who, what in regards to your inexplicably open door screech to a halt as your brain finally identifies the metallic object you've been staring at. It's your kitchen knife. It's still tinted red from your earlier blunder, but that's not right. Wasn't it completely lit clean by the... You gulp dryly at the pain in your foot. You barely have time to wonder how the knife ended up on your living room floor to be stepped on, instead of resting on your cutting board in the kitchen where you'd left it. When you spy something in the darkness, just beyond the knife, it spies right back at you. A pair of glowing golden eyes come forward as the cat emerges from the shadows into the light from your doorway. It pads lightly over to the knife, as if skipping in delight, and bends down to lap at the blood dripping from the blade. Your senses slowly begin to overwhelm you. The chill of the air as it starts to suffocate you under its weight. The sound of your shaky breath, discordant against the static now piercing your skull. The dryness on your tongue, spreading to your throat. The incomprehensible sight of the stray you'd taken in, licking away at your kitchen knife, once again, completely clean. The scent of blood from the fresh wound on your foot. Blood? Golden eyes slide up to you as if in response to your sudden realization. Blood. You're hurt. Your foot is bleeding. You're bleeding. You're bleeding. The cat barely moves, shoulders twitching as if just considering the act of pouncing forward. But you're ready, on your feet and out the door. You run, or rather limp, down the empty street. The sky is black and bleeding red. But there's a strange light emitting from nowhere that casts everything else in white. The houses, the trees, the road, even you. Everything. Except your blood. You can just barely glimpse the bloody imprints of your injured foot leaves in your wake with every impact it makes with the ground. It hurts. It hurts. But you can't stop. You don't stop. Not when the shadows grow around you. Not when you feel the gaze of eyes all over you. Not when the road ahead of you is darkened by a long shadow of something behind you. Even then, you don't stop running, because if that's the cat right there ahead of you, then what in the world is behind you? Look behind me. Huh? Interesting. How very, very interesting. Ending 0. It begins. Well. Alright, let's continue. You're walking. Right, of course. It's the first time in a while that you've felt like going out. And you're actually glad that you did. The weather is absolutely perfect today. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tentatively allow yourself to feel excited for the possibilities of where you could go or what you could do. Maybe even who you could meet. You're so deep in thought that you almost miss it. Huh? What was that? Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a lonely alleyway. The sunlight only just manages to reach down in between the tall buildings on either side. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward, the loose gravel and scattered debris on the ground softening your steps. Meow. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a cat. Guess that should have been obvious. Meow. It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. Puts its front paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. So, you look so familiar, right? Then again, it is a cat. Not many different ways for a standard black cat to look after all. This one sure is a cutie though. Just look. It's not glaring at you or hissing at you for getting this close like other stray cats have in the past. It's just sitting there patiently, waiting for you to do something. Take the cat home. We just look at each other. Oh, look at his little face. Oh, well, why not? Oh, so damn cute, right? Meow. You barely reach out your arms before the cat eagerly leaps into them and climbs up onto your shoulders. It butts its head into your temple, nuzzling against it. Purr. Heh. You can't help but smile at the cat's enthusiasm. Let's get out of here, eh? On the way home, you briefly consider getting cat food. But that would be a waste of time. You shrug at the odd feeling and move on. You live in a modest apartment. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. 1 you living alone in it. So it feels weird having another living being inside it after so long, even if it is just a cat. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you wait for it to walk away and explore the new environment. But it simply sits and looks up at you expectantly. I'm going to do something with cat. Like what? Play with it. Poor thing was probably bored stiff sitting in that old box all day, just watching crowds of people walking by them, ignoring them. You can't just leave them alone as soon as you're home. A little interspecies socializing won't kill you, right? Oh, you just want some attention, don't you? You want to play, huh? Okay then. What to play though? Hide and seek. What about hide and seek? You're not quite sure how this is going to work. Can a cat even understand the concept of a game? Let alone one with rules like hide and seek. Here, just... You pick up the cat and turn them away from you before hiding behind the armchair. You're almost certain the cat must have turned and looked while you were hiding. Out of confusion at least, if nothing else. Now, regardless, a few moments later the cat cautiously peeks around the armchair at you, eyes curious. You smile and scoop it up, holding it out in front of you. You found me! You win! The cat looks confused, but pleased at your praise. This time, you put it on the armchair so it can't see your hiding spot as easily. You dash over to the kitchen, hiding behind the counter. It takes a little longer this time for the cat to find you. This time, when it does, it startles you by hopping down onto your lap from the countertop above. Whoa! You found me again! Heh, okay. You win. You reward it with the little scratches behind the ear and under the chin when it leans into your touch. Heh, okay, why don't you give it a try? You go and stand in the middle of the living room. The cat following you. You make a show of... Can you guys hear breathing? You make a show of covering your eyes and turning around. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. You turn around and see that the cat is gone. You sure catch on quick. There aren't many places available in your apartment for someone your size to hide. But without the opposable thumbs needed to open the closed doors in the hall, the cat will have its limits too. Fair game. Okay, now where to look? I'm going to look in the kitchen. You peek around the counter. Grab a chair and check on top of the fridge. You even open the cupboards along the floor, just in case the cat managed to squeeze inside. Nothing. You decide that's for the best. The kitchen is for making food, not playing games. I will check the living room. You look behind the couch and the armchair. Then under the coffee table. Nothing. The living room is pretty sparse when it comes to furniture after all. Okay, well, look in the hallway. You peek around the corner into the hall. Nothing. You're not sure what you were expecting with all the doors closed. There's nowhere in the hall for a cat to hide. You couldn't find the cat anywhere. You start to get a little worried when you hear a soft sound coming from the hall. You head to the hall and listen again. Yeah, definitely scratches. It sounded like it was coming from your bedroom, but you walk down the hall to your room and gingerly open the door. Gah! The cat trots out and runs around your legs and meows insistently. It looks disappointed somehow, perhaps in your apparently subpar seeking skills. But you lift the cat into your arms and look at your bedroom door. How did you get in my room? You know the door was closed, right? The cat wiggles out of your hold and runs out of the hall. You follow to see it sitting in the middle of the living room. Upon seeing you, the cat promptly turns around. Guess it wants to take its turn seeking. You're about to indulge it by hiding around the counter again when... Oh no, the lights. Did the power go out? Darn it. As you wait for your eyes to adjust to the darkness, you notice that the cat hasn't moved an inch. Was it scared? Hey, are you... What? For some reason, your heart starts beating faster. You consider going over to the cat, but when you do, the thought makes you feel like your life is in danger. You need to hide. Now. Get out of the apartment. Okay. I was halfway to the door. Something happened. You look at the door and see several more locks over it. Then you know you have. You peek over at the cat. It's not looking at you, but you feel a wave of disappointment practically pouring from it into you. It feels almost like a warning. You back away from the door, and feeling slowly subsides, letting you breathe again. There's no getting out there and you need to hide. Hallway closet. You quietly slip into the hallway closet. The door won't close because the heavy box is now blocking it after you squeeze inside. If you try to move it further, the cat might hear it. That is, if it hasn't heard you already. This won't work. You need to hide somewhere else. Hurry! Hide in my bedroom. You quietly rush into the bedroom, carefully closing the door behind you. The only place to hide in your bedroom is in your closet. Just hide. You lock the door as quietly as you can before lunging into the closet and sliding the door shut. As soon as you've secured yourself inside the closet, there's a sudden shift throughout the entire apartment, as if something can sense that you're as ready as you'll ever be, as if it can sense that you're ready to be hunted. A horrible chill runs down your spine as you realise that's what this game has become. This isn't a simple game of hide and seek anymore. This is being hunted by a predator as prey. It never really mattered where you chose to hide, did it? As if in answer to your question, you hear a loud slam on the bedroom door. You just managed to hold back from making a startled noise at the sound. Your heart rate kicks up again, making it feel hard to breathe quietly, hard to breathe in general. Tears fill your eyes as you cover your panting mouth with your shaking hands. It knows. It knows. Crying with your hands over your mouth, trying to smother the choked sounds leaking out of you. You slide down the wall at the back of the closet into a heap on the floor. You flinch harshly at the sound of the door being ripped off its hinges, followed by a loud crash against the wall on the other side of the room, like the door had been blown away. The silence that follows is almost too much to bear. You can't. Sob. A single sob escapes through your nose. You squeeze your eyes shut in defeat at how loud it sounds in the quiet of the room. Not much point in hiding it anymore anyway, is there? You instinctively put whatever energy you have left into listening for footsteps, even as you emotionally shut down. But you hear nothing. 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 Then something slides open the closet door. You have curled in on yourself, knees up, back curved forward, head down, mouth covered, eyes shut tight, so tight it hurts. You don't want to look. You don't want to look, but that's what it's waiting for. It won't end you without this final act of cruelty, of making you look at it before it takes your life. So cruel. You just want this to be over. So you open your eyes. You see something glaring in at you from the darkness beyond the closet door. It looks disappointed. In the moment before you draw your last breath, you almost consider apologising for being such unworthy prey. Guess your hiding skills were just as subpar as your seeking skills. I got ending 13. Disappointing prey. And let's continue. You're walking? Right, of course. It's the first time in a while that you've felt like going out. And you're actually glad that you did. The weather is absolutely perfect today. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tentatively allow yourself to feel excited for the possibilities of where you could go, what you could do, or maybe who you could meet. You're so deep in thought that you almost miss it. Huh, what was that? We know what it is. Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the entrance of a lonely alleyway. Sunlight just manages to reach down in between the tall buildings on either side. Loose gravel, meow meow. Finally the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light of the alleyway. Big box, huge black cat. It's a cat. Huh, that was obvious. Meow. It puts its front paws. Look at it though, it's so cute. So, you look so familiar, right? Then again, it is a cat. Just look. Just sitting there patiently waiting for you to do something. No. Sadly, as cute as the cat is, you'd never take this thing home with you. You just can't take it home with you. You're a responsible adult. You are. With rent and bills to pay for, not to mention you need to buy food to survive too. There's no way you could care for a cat long term, right? You can barely afford this little outing on your day off. What to do? No, I'm going to leave the cat. You don't think it's a good idea to get the cat's hopes up of having someone look after it if you're not willing to commit. What if it gets attached and somehow tracks you down back to your home? You'd never get away with it. Sorry, see you around, I guess. You stand up, the cat watching your every move. You make it halfway out of the alley when the cat meows almost pitifully at you. No. No, nope. You need to nip this in the bud and get on with your day. That's what's best for the both of you. You leave the alley and continue on your way. Wait, what was I doing? In all the excitement of dealing with your furry dilemma, you've forgotten that you still hadn't decided on what you were going to do for your day off. I'm going to go to the dog park. You decide to take a stroll in a park or something. The only one within walking distance is a nearby dog park. You think it'll make you feel better. First you get to see a cute cat today, and now you'll get to see a cute dog. Several of them, in fact. The park is bustling with owners and their canine companions, playing frisbee, fetch, running, jumping, even napping. Such cuties, whatever. Like you want anything to do with those mangy mutts. Huh? What's wrong? Why didn't... Oh, you didn't think that. You decide to move on. The dogs are all so adorable, you want to pet every single one you come across. But you know not all owners are cool with strangers just walking up and manhandling their pets. Not all dogs appreciate it either. So you stroll around the path trying to exude a welcoming aura that will beckon one of these cute doggies to you. You don't have to wait very long. Bark. You stop as the smallest, cutest puppy you've ever seen scampers up to you, blocking your path. What the? Eat the puppy. I'm going to pick up the puppy. You pick up the puppy and... Hold on. I hold on to it. You just barely manage to rein in the reflex to throw the puppy as far away from you as possible. With shaking hands, you quickly place the puppy on the grass and take several jerky steps back. The owner seems confused by your reaction to their puppy, but you just wave at them in a daze before hastily stumbling away. You're not feeling so great about being at the park at the moment. Maybe you should leave. Yeah, I think I'll leave. Good. I think I'll go watch a movie. It's been a while since a film came out that looked interesting enough for you to drag yourself to a movie theatre, but there's a showing of one such film at the old theatre. The movie was a little too niche to be picked up by the new cinema that opened right across the street. That's okay though, you're not exactly a fan of the crowds, and nothing ruins the experience of watching a new movie for you more than a noisy audience. I'm going to go to the old theatre. You eagerly buy your ticket from the kind old man in the booth and head inside. It's barren of any trace of other people, and the decor looks like it hasn't changed since the 80s, maybe even the 70s. But it's what you were counting on. You consider buying some popcorn, but can't help but be concerned that everything at the concession stand might be expired. You move on and walk through the halls, finally locating the theatre designated on your ticket stub. As expected, the theatre your movie will be playing in is completely empty. Perfect. You pick a spot right in the middle, even counting the seats and taking in consideration the gap of the staircase. As you settle in, the dim lights fade away, leaving the room pitch black for a few seconds before the screen flickers on. No commercials or trailers pop up, the movie just begins. Pleased, you shrug and let yourself get immersed in the opening scene. But just as you're getting into the premise, the doors open behind you momentarily, casting light into the room and ruining the atmosphere. You hold in a frustrated sigh. It's a public establishment after all. The place can't exactly afford to stay open if you're the only customer. You try to refocus on the movie, but you sense the new presence slowly shifting around the theatre before heading in your general direction. Wow. Oh God, it's going to sit right here. Oh. You gape in utter disbelief as the stranger shuffles down the aisle, only to sit right in front of you. There's no one else here, plenty of spaces to sit. The stranger is also unusually tall. Even with the stadium-like arrangement of the seats being on a somewhat steep incline, they're completely blocking your view. I'm going to move to another spot. You don't want to risk escalating the situation further. This whole thing is already making you uneasy. Why would they choose to sit right in front of you? Surely they know you wouldn't be able to see past them. Shaking your head with a passive-aggressive scoff in the stranger's direction, you reluctantly pick another, less perfect seat in the theatre. But as you settle down, you see the strange person get up, only to once again sit down in the seat directly in front of you. You look around somewhat helplessly, as if waiting for someone to silently agree with you about how odd all of this is, or at least inform you that it's all an elaborate prank. But there's no one else here with you. That's how you've always liked it, but you can't help but think that maybe it would be nice to have someone else here if it meant not being alone with this weird jerk. I'm going to confront him. You hate confrontation. You can already feel your palms starting to sweat at the idea of it. Your throat's closing up and your body's starting to shake. You've always been more of a flighter than a fighter. But you paid for this ticket. You've wanted to watch this movie for ages. And now this total stranger has ruined the entire experience for you. You're all alone in this theatre. There's no one who will help you if something goes wrong. But you're angry enough that you ignore the signs of your body begging you to put as much distance as you can between yourself and the stranger. You stand up, even standing and higher up on the incline, the stranger is still at least a head taller than you. The movie continues to play in the background, but you feel as if a hush immediately falls heavily over the theatre at your movement. As if you can sense the stranger anticipating what you plan to do next. You square your shoulders and force a little bass into your voice. Hey! The effort makes your words come out more harshly than you intended, like a sudden and vicious bark. But you figure they deserve it anyway. You're being a real jerk, you know that? Just what are you playing at, huh? Are you trying to piss me off? The silence that follows your words is deafening. So much so that you glance at the screen only to find that the movie has paused. Your attention is ripped back to the stranger in front of you as they shift slightly, like a small animal trying desperately to anticipate the moves of a predator. You don't move an inch. You don't look away. You don't dare to blink. Instead, your eyes widen as the person's head turns. Then turns some more. Then turns more, beyond what should be possible, neck bones cracking, to face you directly. You can't move. Wide glowing eyes resting above a wider grinning mouth gaze down at you. The stranger opens their mouth, and what comes out is something impossible to comprehend. The voice is endlessly deep and creaks like a weighty door, foreboding and oddly melodic, alluring, but it also snaps you out of your terrified trance, and before you know it, you're already out the door. You run through the halls of the empty theatre, heading for the exit. You feel something watching you from behind, but you're too afraid to look. The exit now in sight, you sprint forward and burst through the doors. You look around frantically and spot the crowded cinema across the street. People, that's what you need. Safety in numbers and all that. Without thinking, you rush into the street when a sinking sensation crawls down your spine, compelling you to look behind you. Don't look behind you, don't look behind you, don't look behind you. I'm going to look behind me. Despite your resistance, you feel your head turning to look back of its own accord. While in the middle of the street, you catch a glimpse of a grotesque-looking person standing behind the glass doors of the old theatre, watching you intensely, cradling something in their arms, something familiar. But a glimpse is all you get as a truck speeds forward and crashes into your body. You're killed on impact, your body splattered across the road and crushed further under the heavy tyres. I got ending 16, poor screening arrangements. Alright, that's it for this video. If you like the game, want to go play it yourself, I'll put a link to it. It's on itch.io. And yeah, have fun with it. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.